All right, what's crackin' PHP Agency, Matt and Sheena here, board counsel, hailing to you from Oak Brook, Illinois. We want to do a quick video for you at the behest of our CEO and how we're getting more and more of our legs rocking and rolling and building the way they are building. So, babe, you want anything to
I
say
love it.
before?
The first, we created 10 points just to share with the rest of the group. Starting off with number one, our MDs are very adamant about creating their identity outside of me and Matt, and they're doing a really good job of doing it. I mean, it used to be the day that we had high numbers as a base shop, and now we have all of our MDs competing with us and beating our numbers, which is the best compliment we can ever see.
You know, the second thing too is we're adamant about promoting marketing works because our business grows, the value of our company grows when we promote marketing directors, and we understand that the juice of the compensation, the sexiest compensation in the entire industry, begins at marketing director with GEB bonuses. So every month we have a MD2B call. So we're right between our national call and our MD2B call. We're doing this video right now. We're about to jump on our MD2B call tonight, which is held on Sunday nights. But we've promoted literally 44 marketing directors since, 34? 34 soon to be 44. 34 marketing directors since we've been here at PHP since January 2015 through this MD2B call, which is patterned after our Dream Team call.
Yeah, and I think a lot of our MDs got together and said, why don't we do an MD and 30, which each month, our whole entire hierarchy, regardless of what base shop they're coming from, we're selecting 2 to 3 key people in the base shop to promote out as MDs because we're clear on being SVPs. And that brings us to point number 3, which is a great discussion that we had with Patrick right before convention of this year, is to switch our language from logical to emotional, which we worked on not just as individuals, more particularly me, but a lot of our MDs have focused on that as well. And so we're talking about the emotional side of what this business can do for us and our families, and just to see what our MDs have overcame this past couple of months when they say the devil's not a lie, because he's been around, hovering around our entire team, with tragedies and unfortunate situations that have impacted our entire hierarchy, but we still are prevailing because we're wanting to speak that emotional crusade of what the bigger picture is.
Yeah, I think this week we should be ready. This week we're launching one of our newest videos where we're talking about one of our agents delivering a living benefit to one of our agents, the guy that actually built my website. So we're tapping into the emotional side of who we are and what we do and why we do what we do. Next point would be number 4, which is leveraging each other for more one-on-one calls. So you want to talk about the cross-pollination of our MDs going to each other's offices?
Yes, we do a lot. The MDs have done a really great job of fostering and developing great relationships amongst each other, sharing ideas. We are very keen on knowing which MD has a strength in a certain category of the business. And so we talked about collaborating and making sure that when we have those issues going on in our base shop, we know exactly who to go to, what each other's strengths are, and leveraging it. And that brings us to number 5 is the best book we can ever understand is Addressing the 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. And we've done such a great job as a hierarchy, really coming together and addressing a lot of the dysfunctions. And it wasn't easy, and it didn't happen overnight. And we battled through it, and there was a lot of ups and there was a lot of downs. But we finally come to a place that we can be open and honest with each other about what we really need to do. And we're getting to a place to be a lot more comfortable. I wouldn't say we're perfect at it right now, but we've made such strides and progress that we're very clear on keeping the standards high, and we're not compromising at it anymore.
Yeah, because the avoidance of conflict, which is one of the major dysfunctions of the team, because we're all volunteer organization, we're getting to know one another. MSM is across the country. We're just not Oak Brook. We're East Coast, we're West Coast, we're SoCal, we're Florida, we're in San Diego, we're in Texas. So we got MDs all over the place, and oftentimes we don't know how to get along together because we're not in our physical presence together. And so I think we've been doing really well in terms of calling each other up, not necessarily calling each other out. I got that from Swazi. He says, I'm going to call you out because I want to call you up. And so our 3 tenets in terms of call outs is really addressing people with facts. Number two is with class. And number 3 is with mutual respect. Because, sometimes, as you guys may have noticed during a President's Club meeting, sometimes called out gets very, very close to your mama jokes. And or people get very emotional about it. But the way we want to keep it, the way MSM wants to deliver is facts, class, and mutual respect.
Yep. Brings us to point number 6 is we love learning from our peers and our sidelines. And we did a lot of our MDs would travel to different hierarchies, different base shops from outside of our personal hierarchy and learn from them because we always want to constantly stay students of the business. This goes to show why Vic and Anna, Mason and Danny are on Dream Team 1. We have the Mackeys and Hansberry, on Dream Team 2, because we constantly want to be students of the business, and we don't want our egos and our emotions to get in the way of learning from people who are excelling in areas that we need to improve on. So that was a big part of what we've been doing, and you probably see a lot of our MSM MDs in a different fast start schools and different offices, just learning and soaking it all in.
I think part of the process of who we select to get our guys are around is, number one, we got to have a high level of trust. If we don't trust that they're running the business, and it's a recruit first mentality, I got each other's leaders back type of mentality. We're here to build up a company, not just necessarily a hierarchy. If they don't have that mindset, we're not sending our people over there. I think the other aspect too is they got to be a consistent leader in the leaders bulletin. You just can't pop up for 1 month and then we don't see them for another 6 months. And number three, we got to know that they want to win. We got to know that they want to become better. They want to become better people. They want to become better entrepreneurs. Those are some of the criteria that we select on who to surround our people with. And as a result of that too, as well as National Co-Leadership Program, I have zero issues sending out people and getting them assigned to other offices. Right, so that why? Because we have a high level of trust. We know that at this point right now we're in the company that there's a trust level, whether I send them to TGA, WTP, Unity, right? No matter what, or I can keep going on. I know I'm leaving a lot of names, but I know overall inside the company, we know we're running the same system within inside the company, which is a recruit first building type of base shop mentality.
Yeah, and we really appreciate our sidelines. TGA, We the People, Conquistadors, TCO. We haven't ever been disappointed. They've been so gracious and kind to welcome our MDs in, and we do respect it so much, and we do the same in return. But we're definitely learning a lot from you guys, and we appreciate that. Which brings us to point number 7, is our MDs don't want to compare themselves to anybody else. That was one thing that we talked about a lot, is stop comparing yourself to anybody else, except compare yourself to being your prior best. And that really goes into show from our MD that is not performing as well as a top MD. To us, it's not about that. It's more about, I want you just to beat your prior best. I want you to keep improving month to month, because your contribution, as long as it keeps getting better, is going to be a big deal in the bigger picture. And that's a big deal. Whatever MDs we're really focusing on is not always looking at trying to be this superstar overnight if they weren't born into it, but gradually getting better and better and better by just focusing on comparing themselves to beating their prior best versus comparing themselves to other people.
Yeah, I think that's what we did when we first got here to PHP in January 2015. So even though we're out to compete again, I think I called out Graciana, I called out Pelayo. But at the end of the day, that was secondary to us really beating our personal best. I think our best personal recruiting month was like 20 or 30 or 40, somewhere in there. Nothing to even be memorable about, but we just want to beat that and then beat that again. Next one, beat that again. Next one, beat that again. Next month. From a cash flow perspective, we just want to say, you know what? Let's just keep our nose to the grindstone. The cash flow ends up being a scoreboard more for us at this point, rather than just being something to live on. And we also want to be able to earn our override. And we just want to say, no, we want a big hierarchy, but we also want to earn their override. We want to be able to say, you know what, I'm calling you and reaching out to you. I want to serve you and help you. We want to be able to earn our override, not feel that we're ever entitled or deserving of it. We want to earn it.
Yeah, and that brings us to point number 8, just being very clear on what we want to be to PHP and to Patrick. We call ourselves now our hierarchy. We're going to be the best exchange leg known to mankind. So for Patrick to pop up out of PHP and onto the next level, he has to give up an exchange leg. That's going to be us. We're going to be the most biggest and profitable exchange leg he's ever seen, which brings us to point number 9. The only way to do that is we got to focus on our strengths. That's always a given, but we also have to pay attention to our weaknesses and improve those as well.
Yeah, I think oftentimes I categorize things in 3 or 4 different levels. Number 1, what am I excellent at doing? Number 2, what am I average and ordinary at doing? And number 3, what's my unique ability? And there's a unique ability within all of us in terms of the system flow. Is my unique ability something I cannot delegate to somebody else? That only I can do it? Is it my RI? Is it the KTP? Is it FLS? Is it the fast starts? Whatever part of the process it may be, she built her unique ability. She's taken whatever I did when I was a producer, and she's taken it to completely another level. And so that became her unique ability. I realized that's something I was just competent at. I was just doing it because I was just making a living, but I was really jacked up. I find myself today jacked up about entrepreneurship. I find myself jacked up today about being a flag carrier for capitalism and helping a lot of my niche, which is, the military veteran community, the athlete community, to get to the next level of life after transition, life after the sport, life after the military, and getting deep in my niche and going wide in that capacity. But that's my unique ability. That's something I cannot delegate, but everything within inside that, we overlap with each other and those strengths and skills. So therefore our weaknesses naturally improve.
Yeah, which brings us to our last point is ego is not our enemy. I think that's something we really want to instill in our entire hierarchy, is Never let how big you become ever overshadow the fact that you constantly still need to learn and be a student of the business. So Ego and our whole entire team, you can definitely see that not affecting us, that we really want to help each other. When we have successes, we don't celebrate too high on our highs and too lows on our lows, because we still have a big job to get done. And that's what we have to have that message of. We're going to be the team of the decade, 10 direct SVPs by 2020 convention. And that doesn't mean some of our SVPs won't be chairman's councils or board councils, but we're very clear on it. Our MDs are definitely showing it and seeing how many of them have gotten over 100,000 just in last month alone. We're coming, and we're not afraid, because we want to be several strong legs, not just one strong leg. And we're ready to compete, and we welcome the competition.
So let's get after it. PBD, thank you for allowing us to do this video and share a little bit about what we're doing here at MSM to help build this company, which is going to be the greatest and bestest version of us always within inside the insurance industry. That being said, on behalf of Matt and Sheena, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching this. And until we meet again.
Continue to live smart. Continue to love smart. Be money smart today. Let's do it.
All right.